Finally! Manga collection!
My name is Doofy, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys my 100,000 volume manga collection.
In keeping with traditional Doofy fashion, we'll be recording this manga collection on my iPhone. Starting off, we have Neon Genesis Evangelion. As if my videos weren't pretentious enough, I needed a kind of physical reminder that I'm a pretentious asshole, and so I got the Eva manga. Love the anime, but I still haven't even touched the manga despite having bought it a couple years back. Then we got Dorohedoro, which is actually, for what it's worth, a fantastic series, but considering each volume goes for like 17 bucks here in Canada and there's like 23 of them, I couldn't be bothered. Sneeze is a mediocre manga collection by an otherwise great mangaka, Naoki Urasawa. Do not recommend this collection at all. Just go read Pluto or something. Speaking of Pluto, we've got it right here, and unfortunately I've committed the fatal sin of purchasing an ex-library copy. Now, I didn't know I was getting my hands on this. I bought it off Amazon. It said used. It did mention it might have come from a library, but I've bought used before and it never came like that. So kind of disappointing, but fuck, what a fantastic series, so I don't care how I have to read it. And then I've got a few Dark Horse titles just next to it. Satoshi Kon's Opus. Satoshi Kon's probably best known for his films, but he does have a few manga, and Opus is one of them. It's actually a fantastic read that I couldn't recommend enough. To the next of it, however, we have Seraphim Wings, which is also by Satoshi Kon, and it's fucking awful, and I do not recommend it at all. And then finally on the far left we have Imanon, which is arguably the most underrated manga in this collection. It's actually a phenomenal tale about this girl who houses the entirety of life's memory in her mind, and there's this whole system of how it's passed on. Definitely recommend. Then we got Happiness by Shuzo Oshimi. Now I'm currently going through all Oshimi's works, and I'll be doing a bit of a recap in my next manga log, but for now, let's just say that Happiness is one hell of a fucking series. It's very light on the dialogue, the art is super beautiful, it seems to draw a lot from Impressionism, which I quite appreciate. It's super easy to get through, it's very fun, and if you can get your hands on it, I couldn't recommend it enough. To the right of it, however, we have peak fucking fiction, No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai, the adaptation by Usamaru Furuya. This is, in my opinion, the version of No Longer Human. It's a little more modernized than the traditional story or the Junji Ito version. I think that, however, it kind of gets at the modern reader's sympathies a little better, and I don't know, there's something about that version that just hits a little harder, and I really appreciate that. Then below the peak fiction, we have the mid fiction. Okay, for real, Demi Wonderland's actually a hella fun series, especially at the departure point of the anime. I think everything after that in the manga is great. I think it has a really great ending scene. I quite like the final fight. The art's overall solid, and I mean, it's just a solid battle shonen. It kind of errs on the side of edginess, but if that's something you're looking into, definitely check out Deadman Wonderland. And it seems we have a bit of a peak fiction sandwich, because just below Midman Wonderland we have Monster, another absolute staple of any manga collection. I believe these perfect editions are now a little more difficult to find, but still more accessible than the original printings. This is definitely one of those manga that I recommend everybody check out at least once in their life. I mean, it's a beautifully crafted mystery with amazing art from the guy himself, Naoki Urasawa. So now we're moving on to my favorite shelves simply because of how beautiful they look. Y'all rocking with that Xbox 360 though? To the left we have number 6, which is definitely amongst the more underrated titles in my collection. It's really groundbreaking for me in that it was the first manga to really show me that demographics aren't genres. This is a shoujo manga, and despite that, it's amongst the more dark and grittier series I have in my collection. It just goes to show you that these demographics like shoujo and seinen and shonen, these aren't genres, and they don't determine the themes or the content or execution of anything in the demographic. To the right we have Genshiken, which is just a kind of chill, slice-of-life manga type beat. If you're into that thing, definitely check it out. It's amongst my favorite for that genre, but I'm just typically not big on that genre. Then we've got Sankarea, which is a surprisingly engaging ecchi series. I think that the characters and the romantic plot is really well played out. I think it's a very fun story. The interactions seem very genuine. And if you're looking for a kind of zombie ecchi type thing that isn't overly sexual, I mean, this is definitely something I'd recommend. It's just a solid kind of romance story, you know what I mean? Then we got Noragami. You know, I was pretty big on the anime back in the day, but it's since fallen off for me. I probably should read the manga to get a refresher on what it's all about, but I you know, whatever, Noragami. We got Blue Spring by Tayu Matsumoto, a rather rare find these days. It's an incredible kind of short story collection. As good as any short story collection could be, but honestly, I'm not huge on short stories. Continuing downwards, on the far left we have the Radical Parasite. I've yet to read it. I might check out the anime first to determine whether or not I want to get the rest of the manga. I am sure I am going to like it, so I don't really have any problems with that. I guess my only problems are financial ones now. Then we got Helsing, one of my favorite manga of all time, as I mentioned before, but I am missing volumes 8, 9, and 10. I suppose I could go the route of the deluxe editions, but those motherfuckers are like 60 bucks a pop. But I guess the argument could be made that like each of those final volumes are so out of print that I'll probably be spending $60 for each of them, if not more, so maybe I will get the deluxe editions. Psych! The singles look way fucking better, and you know I gotta keep up with those singles, bro. And then we got the girl from the other side, and holy fuck, can this series just end already? I feel like the wait between volumes is unbearable, and the only reason it's a problem is because I love it so much that I just want to know how it's going to conclude. But goddamn, I've been waiting for that final volume 11. I guess I need to buy 10 too, but I've already read that. Then tucked down here at the bottom we have arguably the ugliest spines in the universe, Attack on Titan, with that weird shit brown and fucking the terrible printing quality from Kodansha. God damn, these look ugly. And then we got a few random volumes, Oh My Goddess, I got from like a random lot or something. I will never read this in my life, and I don't know why I still have it. Then moving on to its neighboring shelf, we have Eyes, 1 to 14. I am missing 15, but I do have a slot dedicated for when I get it. And man, I'm gonna just tell you, these are my favorite spines and covers in my collection. Like, bro, that shit looks godly. And then we got Nora, which I always kind of wrote off as a shitty Black Butler ripoff. And that's exactly what it is. Moving along, then we have a shelf that kind of has a few Takeshi Obata and Tsugumi Oba titles. And by that I mean just Death Note Platinum End. You know, the older I get, the less I appreciate Obata's art. Like, it's conventionally solid and it has a lot of merit, but to me, you know, it's just boring now. Platinum End, didn't really fuck with it. I'm gonna probably give it another shot because the anime adaptation's coming out in the fall, and I think that it would be kind of fun to see, you know, an Oba title on the screen after so long, but yeah. Then we have the golden boy of Battle Shonen himself, Full Metal Alchemist. I am happy to say, however, that it has been dethroned by Fruits Basket. I know a lot of people like to claim that the Full Metal fan base is a little toxic when it comes to them losing the spot, you know, as evident with the Attack on Titan thing, but I'm more than happy that Fruits Basket took over the mantle of best anime, at least according to the popular opinion. It's nice to change, and I don't think any king should be king forever. But I just don't think Attack on Titan should be the king either. Then we have Eden, It's an Endless World. This has been like one of those series that I tried to get so long, and then I finally got it, and I just haven't read it yet, and I don't know why. And then again, tucked away at the bottom, we have a bunch of miscellaneous titles. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX I used to read in Shonen Jump monthly, and it was a pretty fun read. I'm a huge stan of the anime, for those who don't know, but the manga is just not as good. I should probably give it a full read, though, before I say any more of it. Then I got a few singles of Evangelion. Again, I think I just picked those up in a random lot. The omnibus look way better, so fuck those singles. Then we got Ultima, which is actually a lot harder to get your hands on than I thought. It's by the mangaka of Shaman King and Stan Lee, Marvel dude. So it's a pretty cool crossover. I've read a bit of it. Solid, but you know, given its price point, I don't think I could recommend. Then we got Smoke and Parade by the creators of Dead Man Wonderland. It definitely feels like it's created by those same creators because the art style is almost identical. A lot of the themes and a lot of the edge and gore is still present. It's a fun, well, I guess fun isn't the best word for it. It's a good read, but it's not something I'd recommend, to be honest. That's why I stopped after volume 3. And then we have the Fooly Cooly manga, which is a kind of piss-poor imitation of the anime. Don't recommend it at all. Now let's move on to this big, ugly brown shelf that houses most of my Battle Shonen. The first thing you'll notice are these 3 lovely Madoka Magica figures. Now, generally, I am super opposed to buying figures because I think that they're so overpriced and they're really not worth the price point, considering they just sit on your shelf and collect dust. However, I got the 3 of them for 20 bucks, and given how high quality they are, it's hard to pass up on that. Stationed behind the Madoka figures, we have Bakuman, the box set. I got this on sale from Barnes & Noble, maybe? Yeah, I know, it's strange, a Canadian ordering from Barnes & Noble. But it was like 60 bucks or something, which was kind of crazy. Unfortunately, I do not enjoy this series at all. I think I dropped it around volume 4. It's just straight up not enjoyable to me. Positioned very ugly on top of it, we have the Kingdom of Gods, which, you know, for a Viz Sig, at that price point, you'd expect to be higher quality, bro, but this shit sucks. I mean, can you see all the fucking scratches and shit on it? Like, it's so easy to ding up. I think I put it up there and it fell down, and I'm just like, ah, fuck it. I'm just gonna throw it right here. I don't want it to be any more damaged than it already is. Then I've got Rurouni Kenshin, volumes 1 to 28 complete. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding Kenshin, given that Watsuki's a piece of shit of a human being. However, I can enjoy the manga independent of the creator. That's why I think it's important to separate the artist from the art. And I didn't support him directly. These were bought secondhand, and so I can feel morally safe at the end of the day with my relationship to Rurouni Kenshin. Though, yeah, absolutely piece of shit human being. Moving along, we have Black Cat, volumes 1 to 7. This was one of the earlier manga I've ever gotten into, and I really enjoyed it, and I think it played a pivotal role in developing my sympathies towards Battle Shonen. It's a really great series, but I just never got any farther than 7. Then we got Zombie Powder, arguably the best manga of all time, unfortunately missing volume 2, but I do have volume 4, and as the lads know, it is the only volume that matters. Moving on. we have Claymore Volumes 1 to 27. I bought these on Right Stuff a long time ago when they had like a Christmas deal and they did little bundles. This was before the box that came out. Very happy that I did so. This is amongst my favorite battle shonen as well. I like the darker tone of the series. I think that it's very well executed, and I mean, nothing but good things to say about it. I think the only problem is that sometimes it can be difficult to distinguish the characters because they all look alike. Now that does play an important role in the narrative, the fact that they look alike. However, I don't think it had to be that way, and probably would have been better off if it wasn't the case, but I don't know, I really love it regardless. Then we got Rosario Vampire, which I famously bought for the boobs but stayed for the plot. And so much so, I was inclined to buy the second season, which I now have incomplete. But we do need to go back here, as I've skipped Your Name and Gintama. I got Gintama at a yard sale. That's it. I never read it, never watched it, but it's sitting there filling up space. And then we have Your Name, which, as I mentioned before, is just a pale imitation of the movie. Just simply watch the movie. The art in this isn't even that interesting or worth reading, so yeah, do the movie. Continuing on, we have Naruto. Now, you might expect me to have a lot more Naruto, seeing as it's my favorite anime, but when I got into Naruto as a kid, I'd watch the anime and then I'd read the scans, and since I was a kid I had no money, and so I had no motivation to buy the manga, especially since I already read it. Though I did buy some of the titles simply because this is, this kind of Itachi Pursuit stuff is arguably my favorite arc in all of anime, all of manga, and then I just continued to get a few more for Christmas. I think around this point I simply had gotten out of anime and manga again, so I didn't continue buying onwards as they came out. Will I ever get the rest of them? Probably not, because it's a lot of money, and I'd rather buy other things. Then we have Boruto, which I have still yet to read, I have still yet to watch. I know a lot about the lore simply because I'm pretty heavy into the Naruto world still, and so I get a lot of info about the Boruto anime and the Boruto manga. I definitely decided if I ever do watch the anime, I'm going to just watch like the manga canon. I know that it does adapt some of the light novel stuff, and I do know that we have this whole anime canon thing. I simply don't care though. I'm going to read the manga and then I'll watch the anime canon. I'm excited for it. I know a lot of people like to thrash on it, but like fuck, I'll take anything when it comes to Naruto. That's just how invested I am in the series. Then we got my favorite manga I still haven't read, D. Gray Man. Yes, despite pumping so much money into the series, I simply have not read it yet. But I am looking forward to finally getting around to this whenever I do. I don't know what I'm reading now, but I have to finish some other stuff up, I'm sure. Then we've got a few other titles over here. Walk Walk I've talked about before, kind of underwhelming, but definitely better amongst those deeper cut battle shonen. Barrage by the creator of My Hero, simply not that good. Don't recommend it at all. I mean, it's cool to fill out your collection a bit, but it's not worth, to be honest. Siren is the most underrated battle shonen I've ever read. It got cancelled at its 16th volume. I am still trying to collect all of them. I've only read like 5-6 volumes. They were phenomenal. I will say it does get repetitive early on, but if you can get past that, if you can kind of get into the world and the system and the characters, it's one hell of a read, and I really gotta just see this through to the end. Then we got Black Clover, which people on TikTok really fucking love for some reason. I did not enjoy the first volume, but there it is anyways. Black Torch, it's whatever. Moriarty the Patriot, I bought the first 3 volumes. I will probably never read that. I don't like the whole detective kind of thing. I don't know, I heard it was based off of like a character from Sherlock Holmes, and that is so not appealing to me, so I don't care. Then we have Komi Can't Communicate, which was a surprisingly refreshing read, very short, very fun. I've talked about it before, so yeah. Then at the very bottom we have my favorite part of my collection, my Shonen Jump collection. So these are the monthly Shonen Jump issues that I talk about. They're basically a compilation of weekly Shonen Jump from Japan. You get like 4 of them in one of these issues, printed on very large paper, which is quite nice, and you get all these ads which are very reflective of the time. It's a bit of like a time capsule for me, and so I've kind of just been collecting as many as I can get my hands on. So I got a lot of 2007s, I've got only one from 2008. This is actually my first issue right here. Let me just show that to you. Very cool. Then I have most, if not all, of 2009. I have most, if not all, of 2010. And I have most, if not all, of 2011. I think I'm just missing volume 10. And then I have the first issue of 2012. Fun fact, I actually got a subscription to Shonen Jump in 2012, and then they immediately after announced that they were going digital, and I was very bummed out. You know, I still wish they did these physical releases, but I mean, I understand why they opt out for the digital. Alright, and now we're moving to the shelf that I think will interest most people. Starting off, we have Battle Royale, the Ultimate Editions, probably the best quality omnibus I've ever seen. They're absolutely stunning. I do still need to read them. I don't know why I buy all this manga not to read, but you know the vibes. Saint Young Men, also a very fun series. Unfortunately, it takes me like 20,000 hours to read a chapter, so I'm simply not motivated to keep going, but I'll definitely get around to finishing through these eventually. Then we got Vinland Saga, which I actually dropped at the start of Volume 5. I thought that the slave/farm arc started way too slow, and it was also hard to stomach the death of a major character in Volume 4, which in my opinion was the best character in the show. I am thinking, however, of watching the anime to kind of get a recap of these first 8 volumes, and then I can hop back into the farm arc to consume what many people consider peak fiction. Then we have my kind of Inyo Asano section. As many know, Inyo Asano is my favorite mangaka, and so I kind of just put all my manga by him together. First we have Nijihara Holograph, very ugly, just placed up there. I don't know why I didn't just put it back over here. We have All Pun Pun, amazing series. All of Dead Dead Demons, amazing series. Salonin, amazing series. One Wonderful World, amazing series. Downfall, amazing series. Nijihara Holograph, kind of pretentious, but still a good read. Girl on the Shore, this is actually peak fiction, y'all. If y'all ain't rocking with fucking Girl on the Shore, I ain't rocking with you, and that's just a simple fucking fact, bro. And then we've got the gems of my collection, Mushishi 1, 3, and 2. Wow, apparently I'm fucking stupid and I can't count. But, I mean, these are, like, infinitely difficult to find in such nice condition. Also fucking hella expensive, and I'm embarrassed to say that I spent probably like $300 on those 3 volumes. But you know what? I'm gonna fucking collect them all eventually. When? I don't know, but eventually. And then No Longer Human, the Junji Ito adaptation. Solid adaptation, but again, I still prefer the Furuya adaptation. And then above it, we have another one of my absolute favorite shelves I think a lot of people are going to be interested in. Starting off, we have Ikagami. I dropped it after 2 volumes. I like the premise a lot of injecting elementary kids with a kind of chip that will possibly detonate in like 23 years. It's a pretty cool concept. The idea of instilling fear in the population so that they're motivated to live their best lives is really cool, but unfortunately it takes an episodic approach to this, and I think it just kind of gets boring after a while. There is a bit of an overarching plot that tries to hold it all together, that has the protagonist asking certain questions about the morality of such a system, but I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. And we got Gangsta G, then Silver Spoon by the creator of Full Metal Alchemist. Terraform Mars, it's cool. Bug, cockroach people. Not Simple, one of the most amazing self-contained volumes. I could not recommend this enough. I think it has an amazing art style, very unique and quirky. Not for everyone, and the story actually handles some pretty mature themes that I think would off-put a lot of people, but god damn, the fucking execution of the narrative is damn near flawless in this volume. I think it's probably in my like top 5 manga of all time. Then we have another work by Natsumi Ono. Restaurant Paradiso or something. It's not very good. Unfortunately, it does not even touch the quality of Not Simple. 20th Century Boys, another Urasawa work. Only read that first volume, which in my opinion looks a lot better in the perfect editions, but I don't know. I gotta read more before I say anything else. We've got Doubt. I doubt I'll ever read more of it. Haha, got him. Darker Than Black, some weird shoujo kind of adaptation. It fucking sucks. Just watch the anime or read the Japanese manga. Way better. Watakoi, amongst some other really cute pink titles. A lot of them are Yuri. I love them all so dearly. Then we got Elfen Lied, which I've also talked quite a bit about on this channel. I have a lot of problems with this series, but regardless, it's still like in my top 15. I don't know, I just really like the world that they build and how they developed Diclonius and the picture they paint of them and the different moral implications you can get out of it. But yeah, there's a fuck ton wrong with this series. And then I Am Hero. I did not care for the zombie bit. But honestly, it was a pretty good slice of life slash comedy at the start before the zombies. Alright, let's just do a little speed round real quick of those manga that I have but aren't displayed on my collection. Love Hina, Vampire 9, 3, and 8, Dragon Dry 5, School Rumble 6, Fugashi Yuki, Volume 10, Wish, Volume 4, Fugashi Yuki Ginbai Kaiden, Volume 9, Mars, Volume 1, and Volume 10, and Volume 11, and Fruits Basket, Volume 2. Moving on, we have another pile. Let's get that shit out of the way. Bring the new pile over. We have a bunch of other shit. I don't care about any of these. Continue on with the video. Oh, and I have those first 4 volumes of Shaman King that I was supposed to give away. And indeed, I still am giving away. So let's just take care of that real quick. Here's the original video. I've already copied and pasted the link into this random YouTube generator, picker, comment thingy. Start raffle. Let's see who's winning the manga. Splorp! Yo, Splorp, shout out. Guess what? You are now the proud owner of Shaman King Volumes 1 to 4. I'm going to message you on Discord since I have you on there. And congratulations, dude. I'm glad somebody I knew won the contest. Then we've got the final 2 shelves to go through. Up top is more or less my like Tokyo Pop shelf. I think a lot of people give the spine shit, but I think a lot of them look good when they're put together. So we have Beck 1 to 5. One of, if not my favorite manga of all time. I've talked about it a lot, so I'm going to move on. Future Diary 6 and 10. Just cool little volumes to have. I got it in a random lot. Welcome to the NHK 1 to 7. Still have yet to read, but I did fuck heavily with the anime, so I'm looking forward to reading the manga. Peacemaker 1 and 5, a pretty unremarkable kind of action series. Seems to rip a lot off from Naruto in my opinion, but I'm a Naruto fan, so of course I would say that. Saku Reload, never read. Sky Blue Shore, kinda sucks. Portrait of Men, Rave Master, a fucking awful manga. Do not fucking read Rave Master. Blade of Heaven, some weird manhwa. Never read, because I don't have volume 1, and I don't care. I got it in a lot for like a few bucks, so rock and roll. And then O Parts Hunter by the brother of Masashi Kishimoto. I look forward to reading it, but I still have yet to do so. Then we have the Shaman King Omnibus, and the main reason why I'm giving away the singles. I really like the Omnibus spines, and the quality, I can't complain. And then we have Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. 5Ds nuts.
Finally, Blanche, 1 to 48.
Shout out to my lovely Patreons Dark Josh and J-Chip. I appreciate your support, boys. If anybody's interested in getting to know the Doof and Schmertz a little more, I've got a Twitter, I've got a Discord, I've also got a TikTok if you're into that kind of thing. Otherwise, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you Friday with the next episode of the Syrup Boys.